that's the oldest one in existence, but this is questionable whether it's actually the first bike, right?
So, of all the research we've done, all the resources we've looked into, we're pretty sure that's serial number 1. Now you got to remember, when my relatives were pursuing their dream, you know, they would, 2 of them worked for the Milwaukee Railroad, Arthur Davidson and Bill Harley. And they would leave the Milwaukee Railroad or get off their day job. They were able to go into the machine shop and make parts at the Milwaukee Railroad machine shop, make parts for the serial number 1, take those home to the wooden shed that was in my great-great-grandfather's backyard. And so this is leading up to that serial number 1. You can't really snap a line and say, okay, this is when they started production of serial number 1, because back then they were pursuing a dream, right, a concept. So it was always going through different forms, different iterations, different parts, different prototype parts. What confirmed to us that this was a very early prototype of the first bike is about 20 years ago, we made the tough decision to restore the bike that's on display because it had started to show some signs of rust and just things that we wanted to make sure that we preserved. And we decided at the time to split the engine cases, and on the inside of the left-hand crankcase, we found, and we didn't know it was there, we found a hand-chiseled number 1.
Wow.
So that was reassuring to us that this was a very, very, very early prototype that my relatives and Bill Harley put together. Yeah. And that's the only 103 motorcycle from Harley that is in existence. We think there were 3 made between 1903 and 1904. This is the only one that we know of. The other unique bike, I mean, the museum is filled with unique bikes, but the other unique bike is the motorcycle gallery downstairs on the first or on the second floor. When you first come in the museum and you see that lineup of motorcycles, the first bike is actually from 1909 because that was the year of our first V-twin engine. And obviously Harley is known for our iconic V-twins. But when we introduced that V-twin in 1909, it didn't work. So the founders decided to scrap all of 1909 motorcycles. That's the only one in existence, that 1909.
Oh, wow.
And they retooled and re-engineered and came out with the fixes for 1910 model year. So, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.